Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to tear down the invisible mechanics behind modern e-commerce and look at exactly how Amazon built the ultimate supply chain. You know, when most of us think about Amazon, we just think about online shopping, a website, a search bar, a digital shopping cart. But underneath all of that, there is a staggering global logistical ballet happening right under our noses. Today, we're going to peel back the layers and see exactly how they pulled it off.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Think about your everyday customer experience. It really boils down to a super simple validation. You search for an item, you add it to your cart, and bam, a day or two later, the package magically arrives at your front door. It feels absolutely effortless, right? We've all done it hundreds of times. In fact, it's so seamless that we rarely even stop to think about how it actually happens.
But that is only what we see as customers. It's time to completely shatter that illusion of simplicity. Behind every single order you place lies one of the most sophisticated logistics systems humanity has ever built. We are talking about a vast, sprawling network that moves over 16 million packages a day. It predicts what you're going to buy before you even buy it, and it synchronizes hundreds of thousands of robots, employees, trucks, and airplanes across the entire globe. Which actually brings us to a really fascinating question to kick things off. Just think about this for a second. What is Amazon's absolute greatest product? Now, it's not a physical item. It's not a book or a laptop or that new pair of headphones you just ordered online. The answer is convenience, plain and simple. This entire massive machine wasn't just engineered to sell you stuff, it was engineered to eliminate time. Amazon's true product is saving you the effort, the wait, and the friction of traditional shopping. And behind that convenience is a supply chain that fundamentally changed how the world works.
Let's rewind a bit to 1994. Jeff Bezos didn't start out trying to build the world's largest retailer. He really just wanted to build the world's largest bookstore, relying on standard distributors to ship the orders out. And books were the perfect starting point, right? The internet allowed for an endless catalog without needing infinite shelf space. But as their vision expanded to sell literally almost everything, they realized something crucial. Selling millions of items was the easy part. Delivering them quickly, that required a total pivot. By 2005, they introduced Prime. By 2012, they completely revolutionized robotics by acquiring Kiva Systems. And by 2020, their infrastructure faced the ultimate stress test with the COVID-19 pandemic. Over the decades, Amazon literally transformed from a bookstore into a company utterly obsessed with physical logistics. To really grasp how they did it, we have to look inside the fulfillment center. And I'm not just talking about a big building. It's a carefully engineered system designed to move products as efficiently as humanly possible, ruthlessly cutting out any wasted movement. Every single shelf, every conveyor belt, every scanner and workstation is completely optimized. Because again, selling stuff on the internet was easy. Delivering it required them to completely reinvent what a warehouse even was.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is the counterintuitive brilliance of how Amazon actually stores items. Normally, you'd organize a warehouse by category, right? Books in aisle 1, electronics in aisle 2. But that means workers end up walking miles and miles a day. Amazon does the exact opposite. They use random storage. To a human, it looks completely unhinged. You'll find a teddy bear sitting right next to a power drill. But popular products are just stored wherever space is available, and their incredibly complex software remembers exactly where everything is. It sounds like total chaos, but it drastically reduces walking distances and maximizes every inch of space. Then, 2012 hits. This was an absolute game changer. This was the year Amazon acquired Kiva Systems for hundreds of millions of dollars. Instead of workers walking miles through these enormous warehouses, they brought in fleets of orange robots to literally carry entire shelves directly to the workers. Today, they have over 750,000 of these robots deployed worldwide. Walking time dropped drastically, productivity skyrocketed, and the warehouse itself essentially became a smart, moving puzzle.
But you know, speed in the warehouse? That was only half the battle. They needed to completely change how we think about shipping itself. When Prime first launched, a lot of analysts actually thought it would destroy their profits. A single annual fee for fast shipping? But it ended up transforming our behavior as customers. Shipping no longer felt like an added cost. It felt free. And once it felt free, our order frequency went absolutely through the roof. We just stopped comparing retailers and started searching Amazon first.
And obviously, it didn't stop at shipping. Prime evolved into a massive, sticky ecosystem. You've got fast shipping, sure, but also movies, music, cloud photo storage, gaming, exclusive deals. Much like Apple's strategy, Amazon built an ecosystem that is incredibly hard to leave. Every single additional benefit they add makes that membership that much harder for you or me to cancel. It just builds deep, long-term customer loyalty.
So the crucial point here is how they actually anticipate our needs using something called predictive inventory. Amazon's algorithms are constantly crunching massive amounts of data. We're talking weather forecasts, your personal shopping history, seasonal demand, regional preferences, all to position products closer to you before you even click Buy Now. The goal isn't just to ship things faster, it's to reduce the physical distance those products have to travel. They are literally fighting time by predicting your actions.
And this brilliantly illustrates the data loop powering the whole shebang. Every single interaction you have, every search, every click, an abandoned cart, a return, it's all an input. And that input fuels one of the largest retail data systems in history, spitting out optimized forecasts, better warehouse routes, and sharper supply chain planning. The entire supply chain literally gets a little bit smarter with every single order you place.
Let's move on and map out how this builds the ultimate physical logistics chain. It starts at those massive fulfillment centers storing the inventory, rapidly moves to sortation centers that organize the packages, trickles down to local delivery stations preparing your specific neighborhood routes, and finally pushes out to the final mile. It's like this incredibly fast, highly synchronized relay race happening 24/7 across the globe, feeding from one step directly into the next. But here is where we hit the absolute hardest hurdle in all of logistics. Moving thousands of packages across the country? That's efficient. Delivering one single package to one specific front door? It's not. We really need to pause on this because the final mile is where all the friction lives. Getting a truckload of TVs between states is easy. Getting one specific TV safely onto your porch is incredibly complex and really expensive. So to solve this massive bottleneck, Amazon just decided, you know what, we're taking absolute control. They stopped relying entirely on outside carriers and built their own immense fleet to own the final mile. We are talking over 100,000 custom delivery vans, massive investments in electric vehicles, a dedicated fleet of cargo aircraft, ocean freight operations, and even pouring money into experimental drone deliveries. Taking control like that ensured a level of flexibility and sheer speed that traditional outside carriers just couldn't guarantee them.
Of course, a system this mind-bogglingly huge requires a really delicate balance between automation and human judgment. Yes, the robots move the shelves, and sure, the software predicts the demand, but it's human beings who have to step in to actually solve things like sudden weather disruptions, equipment failures, weird inventory shortages, and complex customer service issues. It's this fascinating partnership where artificial intelligence and real people work hand in hand to handle the unexpected. And honestly, none of this would have been possible without their core investment philosophy, optimizing for the future, not just the next quarter. Amazon spent billions building data centers, cargo networks, and fulfillment centers years before they saw any real returns. But that kind of patience built an incredibly resilient system. When the 2020 pandemic surge hit and global supply chains just buckled overnight, Amazon's immense, pre-built infrastructure allowed them to scale way faster than a lot of their competitors.
Now, it is important to acknowledge that massive market power inevitably brings massive scrutiny. There are very real, difficult conversations happening right now surrounding Amazon. The company faces ongoing questions and criticisms regarding warehouse working conditions, labor relations, its immense environmental footprint, and intense regulatory oversight. As this logistics machine continues to grow, balancing that sheer operational efficiency with corporate and social responsibility remains a highly debated and critical issue. Ultimately, what Amazon has built is a constantly learning, living network. It isn't really just a store anymore, is it? It's a single coordinated machine, combining billions of data points and millions of moving parts. Its greatest innovation isn't a specific robot or one clever algorithm. It's the fact that every single package delivered makes the entire network faster, smarter, and more efficient for the very next one. Which leaves us with this final, honestly staggering question to chew on. How do you deliver exactly what someone wants before they even have time to regret buying it? It's a provocative thought, isn't it? But that is the exact question Amazon has spent 3 decades answering. And in doing so, they've built what may very well be the ultimate supply chain. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gave you a whole new appreciation for the incredible mechanics working behind the scenes the next time you click Buy Now. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.